I know that there's a lot of like crazy conspiracies around just space travel in general, going back to like the original moon landing. We are in like a very, very small bubble of our like world.
Mm.
And then from there, it's just in my mind impossible to believe that there's not just like way more stuff out there.
While you walk around and you look at people like, there's got to be something smarter out there.
Is space exploration a cost or an investment?
Like, if we're going to go here with the questions, I don't know that it's real. Well,
Yeah, welcome
here we
back,
go.
everybody. Back to Business Casual. Today we're kind of lining this up with some of the space things that are going on and looking at some of the numbers around the Artemis program,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah,
is just crazy when you actually break down the cost of
I had no
launching a
idea.
spaceship. Yeah, it's just
No idea. The amount of money that is funneled to NASA is kind of crazy. And the amount that it takes to send a rocket up.
yeah. So total cost of the program was, I think, through 2025 is 90 plus billion.
Just
Expected,
for Artemis.
right? Expected to be
Right.
over 100 million by the time it launches in 2028. So
When you say launches in 2028, total projection cost 2028, that's just like because the projection is that they're landing.
that's, I think that's the total project cost.
Okay.
So like after, I'm guessing, Kelsey, that number is like time of rocket launching to landing back on Earth is over 100 billion. That's just the cost of the launch, the 4.1 billion, which is, yeah, crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy. So it launched on April 1st of 2026. That was that was the kickoff of apparently several launches.
Right.
And I've not looked into this, so I do not know like why. Why are we doing this?
So I think, I mean, space exploration is obviously something that's become important. So whether you think about it from the standpoint of if the Earth has enough sustainability to live on forever, I mean, if there's talk of us potentially having to go and live somewhere else hundreds or thousands of years from now, like not going to be us, but
I was gonna say I'm not gonna be here.
right, but people down the road, I think that that's some of it. I don't know that I buy into it. I know that there's a lot of like crazy conspiracies around just space travel in general, going back to like the original moon landing.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, this is something that I think is very far out of our wheelhouse, but
I know.
it's a
I'm
current
like,
event and it has to do with
I had
taxpayers'
no
dollars and
idea that we were even launching until somebody was like, "Oh yeah, there's a launch today for the Artemis." I'm like,
right.
"Really? What's going on?"
Yeah, so there's a ton of money that goes into it, and I think people are interested in the idea of us sending rockets into space and exploring is cool. But what does it mean? I mean, I'm sure there are people on both sides of the fence that are like, "Hey,
Uh,
this is $100+ billion of tax
Of
money that
taxpayers' money.
it should not be spent." And then there are people
Yeah.
that are like, "We need to spend way more money on this."
Yeah. I
And
would be of the camp of I have zero desire to see my tax dollars go there.
and and
Like, mm,
and I think it comes down to what is the alternative. So in my mind, if the money is already in the system and this is an option over some of the other stuff that the government spends money on, I guess I'm like more in favor of the coolness of this over some of the other things that they waste money on. But in
well, for sure.
but in the
That's if we're talking about the scheme of what the government
right,
wastes money on, like there's a lot of things I would
sure.
absolutely not be on board with.
But in a world of people getting just less paying less in taxes or getting a tax credit or a rebate or
Yeah,
something,
let's go.
I that I think more people would potentially sign up for. But again,
Yeah,
like this being a topic that other than just the like high level of research that we've done to put this episode together,
yeah.
like I don't even know how to scratch the surface of
Right.
space
No,
travel and
no
like
idea.
the full benefits of it and everything that goes into it.
For the purposes of this, it was
Just the
the
numbers are Yeah, the
immense amount of
the
money that
pure
is
amount of money that
yeah.
is spent on it, which if you think about the cost of just building a skyscraper
Right,
nowadays, which is
right.
several billion dollars, shooting something to the moon would clearly cost
A lot.
giant multiples of that.
Right.
So the math makes sense. It's just again, what are we looking for and what is
Yeah.
the viability and what is the end goal? And there are clearly people in NASA and SpaceX and all of these different organizations that think that there is a huge need to
Yeah.
find out this
Yeah.
stuff for sustainability of life. But then there's just all of the stuff like we talked about hundreds of millions of dollars that are going into this. Just think about all of the training for these
Oh
astronauts
my
and
gosh.
the special equipment and just stuff that needs to be built that in regular everyday life. So think about something like,
The modular like simulators of things of yeah.
well, even think about like niche stuff like planes versus cars.
Yeah.
So a plane has to have different materials than a car because it's traveling through all different types of climate at high
Yeah.
speeds, like in the air, and there are so many more cars. So to produce like a bolt for a car is
Mhm.
probably significantly cheaper than producing a bolt for a plane. Like I don't know that for a fact. It just in my head it makes sense
Makes
that it's more
sense.
expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are still like substantial amounts of planes in circulation.
Mhm.
Spaceships, there are like
Not a lot.
some. So you now have to create like a bolt or a nut or whatever it is
Mhm.
for a ship that's going to go higher, faster,
Right.
farther than anything ever. And the pressurization and the like all of the stuff that goes into it,
For me,
it
I
has
feel
to
like
get
the
crazy. I
benefit
mean,
is creating jobs for these people. Like
right. Yeah.
there's gotta be an amount of people that have to work on all of this.
Yeah. Probably some of the smartest people in
Right.
the world. Like, and again, this is just a guess. Kelsey, you could probably pull up some of the data. But I would guess that these like engineers that are working
Mhm.
for NASA and SpaceX are all very highly paid, very intelligent
Right,
people.
right.
So you're not putting somebody with no college degree in there.
Yeah.
It's like this isn't like a $12
No,
an hour
right.
job. You're paying these people a
Right.
substantial
Minimum
amount.
wage.
Right. So so all right, so she just pulled it up. So space engineers typically make between 90 and 130,000 for a year per year, with senior engineers exceeding 175,000. So for kind of like a typical person in that role, they're far above
And how many up there
the average income
right.
in the world of just US earners.
I I I think of the movies where you see these, like, launches and there's just, like, that platform of, like, people that are just,
Yeah.
like, lined up, like, how many of those people, like, how many people are employed by NASA? And then I'm sure that they don't do everything, like, in-house, like, building this rocket, these nuts and bolts, like, where do they come from? So it
Right.
is I mean, it's creating
Yeah.
jobs for people, so that would be a positive for me.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'm like, "Meh." I don't I don't know that it is worth the amount of money that goes into it
And I think it's
or
hard
the
to say.
buy-in.
I mean, we're exploring. So I think that it's purely guessing at this point. I mean,
Uh-huh.
if you travel up to space and you find some sort of ultra rare, valuable mineral or material and bring it back here, I mean,
I
we
think they said they did that for the one, but then they tested the rock and it was not actually
sure.
like a moon rock.
But that's the type of stuff where I mean, I think that there's some expectation of what you're going to explore, but
Right.
whenever you're going to the unknown, you can find stuff that nobody knows that exists. And it's
Yeah.
what if you find this groundbreaking material that makes everything cheaper
Here
and
and
faster
on
to make
Earth.
and more
Right.
durable
Yeah.
and now you can just you now have this sustainable amount of resource that makes everybody's life easier.
Yeah.
So I think that there's something to that
Yeah.
because I do believe that we are in like a very, very small bubble of our like world.
Mm.
And then from there, it's just in my mind impossible to believe that there's not just like way more stuff out there.
I mean, we
So And then for me to also believe that we're, like, the most sophisticated beings that exist is also, like, kind of
While
crazy.
you walk around and you look at people like, "There's gotta be something smarter out there."
Right. So, I don't know what that means, but I just think that the whatever, like, the galaxy is a very big place, and I think
I
we're only, like, one galaxy.
yeah. For me, that I don't know. I think of, like, my faith and, like, what
Yeah.
I consider when you're talking about things like that, because 'cause I'm just like, it's infinite, and it's like we were created, and so, I mean, I see where you're going. I
Yeah.
think that there's just, like, things in my mind that I kind of just, like, based on my faith, like, that's where my, ability to kind of reason with what could potentially be out there just becomes a factor, so
Yeah.
but yeah, this launch, I mean, it was cool if for anything, like, the kids. I know even my daughter was like, "I wanna be an astronaut." I looked at her, I was like, "Are you serious?" But I think it's just, like, something because I remember
Yeah.
as, like, kids,
Well, yeah.
people were walking around with their, like, helmets, and they're like, "I wanna be an astronaut." It was, like, very cool.
Well, when we were kids too, there's, like, some level of nostalgia
Oh
because
my gosh.
and Kelsey, you could pull this up, but I feel like there were far more launches when we were kids, and then there was a giant
Yes.
pause, and now it's become, like, a big resurgence.
There was a I remember going to Cape Canaveral when I was in, like, the 3rd grade. It was
Right.
and we were in South Carolina at the time, so we were traveling by bus to Cape Canaveral, and it was like it was very much a thing, like, when
Right.
we were growing up. It hasn't been a thing probably in the last decade.
Yeah, do, like, launches by decade, like, US launches by decade. I'm curious to see. I'm guessing back in, like, the '70s, '80s, and '90s,
Yeah.
there was probably a lot, and then I feel like in the '90s and 2000s, it was
I think you also have to take in consideration like, who's in the White House and, like, what they're looking
right.
to do. Because I think for a long time, it was all about getting there first and, like,
Yeah,
what there's always this competition with other countries of who's doing what, so, that you gotta keep up with other countries,
yeah.
but, yeah, I remember 3rd grade coming to Cape Canaveral, and, I mean, it was very cool. It was a cool thing to, like, see. Oh, yeah, there's been
So it's actually not I mean, it's skyrocketed since 2020,
right.
but really it didn't really, like, dip substantially. It was just a low number of overall launches,
Yeah.
really from the mid-60s. There seemed to consistently be, like, 20 to 40 every year. Maybe they were just not as, like, highly publicized missions.
So
But then
that
really from 2020 on, it's been drastic. I mean, upwards of hundreds plus per
right.
year.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a ton. Didn't expect to see that jump.
No.
For sure, because I don't believe I've heard I also am not a big watch the news 24/7, so
Right.
I probably missed a whole lot of that. But that larger uptick, that was what? I mean, when did they say we landed on the moon? Like 60
69.
okay. So that was,
Yeah.
like, right kind of in there.
Yeah.
It's an interesting it's a very interesting topic.
Right. So from the 60s being the second highest and the 2020s being the first highest
Right.
number of launches, and then just kind of a gradual decline. But like in the 90s, that was the third highest number of launches. So it's not substantial, like the difference between the 1990s and the 2000s and 2010s, but then it's very different from the 60s to the 2020s.
I'd venture to say too because when we're talking about, like, when we were kids and it being, like, a thing,
Yeah.
I think it's probably because there wasn't a whole lot of people who were saying it like, "This doesn't exist," or "This didn't happen." I think the uptick in the last probably 10 years has been far
What
more
well,
drastic of, like, "Well,
think
did we land on the moon? Did we not?" Like
I also think it's just time. So think about just overall technology and
yeah.
what we believe to be true now. So in the last 30, 40 years, like if somebody would have said when we were kids, like the fact that we went to the moon, it was like, okay, like that happened. Like that was like believed and that happened. If somebody would have told you that you would have had a cell phone or a device that
Oh,
you could
right.
call people and have the internet in the
Like a
palm of your
computer
hand.
in your hand.
And even going back that far to like when we were kids, like a computer was the size of this
Oh, it's huge.
desk.
Yeah.
So the internet didn't exist for a large part of our
Mhm.
childhoods or to the commercial way that it does now. But the idea of you being able to have what is now like
Mhm.
a cell phone that we can't live without would have been far more like inconceivable than something traveling to the moon. So I think now we think like, okay, we have all this technology. Like in my mind, I'm like, we should actually be able to get to the moon like faster, cheaper. Like there should be like a wildly more efficient way to do it, but
Yeah.
there just isn't. But
Right.
like
Right.
other technology has sped up in
Yeah.
a crazy amount of ways.
And I'm pretty sure there's probably a lot of technology that we don't even know exists. I think they
For
kind of
sure.
like release it and like, can they handle this?
Well, I believe that.
Yeah.
I think that stuff is created far
Oh
faster
my
than
gosh.
it can be released. And then
Mhm.
it's just at what point can we actually process how fast data can move? And even with like
Mhm.
the infancy of I think that
Oh.
there are so many smart people that have deeper and deeper iterations of where it is
Oh,
already.
right.
And like us as a population are using it for like the dumbest stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like there are people playing around with it and then there are people
Mhm.
using it and applying it in business.
Right.
But
Very
that's
efficiently.
the type of stuff that in terms of like dollars saved and inefficiencies and
Mhm.
calculations and again, not that these engineers shouldn't have jobs or they shouldn't like utilize the AI, but in my mind, I'm like
Yeah.
all these calculations that people in the 60s were like writing out and
Mhm.
building
Oh my
computer
gosh.
programs
Right.
for can now be solved in seconds.
Absolutely. Coding, like that's
Right.
not a thing. Like, I mean, it just
Yeah, like somebody has
like
to write the
AI.
program,
Mhm.
but these programs have become so good.
Mhm.
It's either helping or accelerating or doing all of this different stuff. The part that was really crazy is Kelsey kind of scrolled it up here is in
Oh my
today's
god.
dollars, the cost of the Apollo program would have been about 280 billion. So I
Yeah.
guess like when you think about it like that, it's a third of the cost of the Apollo program.
Well, I'm
So
thinking it's because of the
because of the
technology. Right.
technology and
Right.
the efficiencies,
Yeah.
but it's still like
Wildly.
inflation itself. So I wonder, I guess this is somewhat inflation adjusted because we like took it forward.
Mhm.
But if we took the true cost today and then brought it back,
Yeah.
like what that big
Mm.
gap would have been,
Right.
because
Right.
then it's like $100 billion today in the 60s is like probably trillion plus
Oh, yeah.
dollars.
Yeah. Yep. That I was laughing because the there's a note of, like, the small stuff and the cost of that. Like, spacesuits are obviously millions
Right.
per suit, but, like, she put up their space toilets, 20 to $30 million.
Yeah.
Like, is it like a fancy bidet? Like
I would just,
like,
it's
what?
probably like you've got to do something to like contain gravity. So you've got to like, you probably have to like go
I
into
know.
like a room where gravity, like
Is equalized or s like, somehow, yeah.
gravity is turned on because you're in zero
Right, right,
gravity.
you would have to turn it on so it's
Right.
not coming up.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's probably so much stuff like that that they're like,
Right?
you got
These
to,
are what these engineers are for. Hey,
right.
like, this is important.
Yeah. They're like, your job is the toilet. Like
Yeah.
you went to MIT and you're like the smartest person in your
Figure out
class.
how
You're
to use a bathroom in space.
and you're like the toilet guy. You're the toilet designer for Artemis.
Oh,
Like,
that is wild.
but like that would be cool. Like if that was what I was
I mean,
tasked
that's
with,
good
and
fun,
then this
yeah.
thing becomes like one of the biggest space programs in the world,
Yeah.
that person's like, I
I did
designed the
the
toilet. Like I
toilets.
designed the toilet in there. Like
Yeah,
that's
and
like a,
everybody's like, "Oh my gosh,
right.
yeah, I didn't even think about that."
So
Like, you
there's
gotta do
like
that.
there's really, really cool stuff that goes into this, but it's just like you look at the dollars, but then I mean, we talk about it on a daily basis with our clients and then with just life.
Yeah.
Like we go to the grocery store and it's like hundreds of
Oh,
dollars.
right.
So it's like to fill up my car, to go to the
Yes.
grocery store, to buy groceries, to then come home
Yeah.
is a several $100 excursion.
Oh, for sure.
This is like they have to load up a spaceship with how who knows how much food, how the food has to
Right.
be prepared, all of the fuel and all of the
Right.
stuff that goes into it. let alone the cost of building the machine and then launching it into space. Like, it's gonna cost a
It's
lot
gonna
of
cost a
money.
lot. Yeah. What's interesting is there was, like, not reusable systems. Like, I figure you gotta find a way to repurpose that stuff. So, like, you obviously can't reuse the rocket, but, like, could you not just, like, take the stuff apart and figure out how to reconfigure it for something else? They're saying it's, like, discarded after launch.
I would imagine, and again, this
I'm
is,
sure
like,
some of it is, like
out of pure, like, negligence because I have, like, no idea, but
right.
I would think that this rocket, like, takes a beating.
Oh, for
So
sure.
there are huge parts of it that are built to, like, detract and, like, fall
Mhm.
apart and do whatever because it
Yeah.
has to, like, go through the phases of launching, landing,
Oh,
all of
yeah.
this other stuff.
Yeah.
But when that machine, like, comes back to Earth, like,
Oh,
I
it's probably
imagine
beat
it's
up.
kinda, like, beat to hell.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
maybe you, like, have scrap parts of it and stuff,
I'm
but, like
not saying rebuild like a rocket. I'm just saying like repurpose some
right,
of the stuff. You just got like a scrap
but just
yard
think
of
about a
stuff.
car that's been on the road that, like,
Right.
hasn't been in an accident for 5 or 10 years, like, it just gets weathered.
Mhm.
This thing's flying through, like, space
Who
with
knows what it's flying through?
right, with I mean, comet, like, just think of, like,
Mhm.
all of the stuff that, like,
Did you say a
you hit
comet?
yeah, like, you hit, like, bugs
You
on your
just
yeah, there's, like, bugs and stuff that you're, like, hitting with your windshield, like, how much stuff is, like, floating out there that you're just hitting? Like, this thing probably comes back, like, far more beat up than we know.
I don't know. I'm just envisioning like just like shooting up and
You're
you're
telling me
like all the bugs
you're
and
telling me
all
that when
like
that thing takes
who
off,
knows what it's
it's
taken
not
out
it's not hitting
in the
birds and
process.
stuff?
Yeah, I know. I was
Like
thinking birds. I
right,
didn't want to say it. I'm
yeah.
like, oh
But
gosh.
as this thing's, like, taking off and just shooting up, like, it's just, like, it's clear, like, it's not hitting anything. That's just I have a hard
Maybe
time
they
believing
like
that.
these birds are probably like, let's get out of its way.
Maybe, but planes hit birds all the
I
time, and they fly way lower. So it's like and they're going way planes are going so much slower than
know.
this thing. So, I just think that by the time this thing gets back to the ground, they're like, "Yeah, this thing is chopped up." But yeah, maybe, like, inside, they're like, "Okay, we could, like,
Yeah,
reuse,
yeah.
like, some" but you've gotta think everything has
These
to be, like,
20
bolted
to 30
so
million-dollar toilets, we gotta reuse those.
but how, like, secure do those have to be in the
I
thing,
know.
like, to pull it out? So, I get it, like, there's stuff that rationally, when you think about it, I'm like, "Yeah, like, this thing is, like, done."
Expensive.
But they probably
Uh-huh.
do keep it from the standpoint of being like, "Oh, this thing worked really well," or there was some door that didn't open perfectly,
Right.
and then they can go back in and, like, retest it and try to figure out, like, how to make things better.
And then they put it into, like, a museum, and then you can, like,
Right.
walk through
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know how many, like, uses you would get out of these things if you're just
it.
like, "Oh, we'll keep 80% of it and, like, launch it back up there," like, so
I
in
think those astronauts are like, "I want everything brand new."
yeah, like,
Like,
they're
"Let's go."
"I'm not going back on
Yeah,
that
I
one."
know. I
That's
saw
something
what
that's
that went
interesting
through.
too, like, Kelsey, pull up, like, how how many trips do astronauts do? Like, because I know they do, like, some of these, like, shorter just, like, launch and land
Right, right.
within a couple days, but are there people doing, like, multiple missions on something like this? So, like, is the Artemis project, is it the same group of astronauts, or are there different people for each phase of the project?
I mean, that's while she's looking that up.
1 to 2 times during their career.
Oh, okay. So they go on a mission
Yeah. That
1
makes
to 2
sense. Like, I would
times.
imagine it takes, like, a crazy toll on your body. You're missing
Oh my
like, you're
gosh.
gone for how long is the total trip for, like, the moon one?
My daughter was actually telling me about one of the astronauts. They lost their wife. I don't know. I haven't looked into any of them.
So Artemis II is 10 days, but that just goes where?
It's supposed to go around the moon is the idea. But back to so the
Yeah.
one astronaut, I guess he lost his wife. And so they were trying to figure out what to name, like, I guess these craters
Yeah.
on the moon. And it's a Carol crater, I think, is what she said, named after his wife. I was like,
Oh.
that's really sweet.
So the Apollo mission took 12 days, or
Seventeen.
Apollo 17 was 12 days, 13 hours. But these are, like, shorter. How long was the trip to Mars? Didn't that take, like, way longer?
Oh, I'm not sure. You're asking the wrong person. I don't really follow this
I felt like that
stuff.
was like months. That was 2 weeks also. Is that what it says?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So that's like a big one. And then the other one is like whenever people stay at the space station, right?
Wait, go back up. One-way trip to the red planet would take 9 months, but a return journey would be around 3 years. Wait, so you said they went to Mars?
No, I
Like
was
send a
saying,
satellite? I was like,
well, didn't they send something? Didn't they have like a rover on Mars at one point? Didn't Elon do that?
I think they said they did. They said they did.
They didn't say, I don't think they sent people, but I think they had a thing that went there with like
Yeah,
the rover.
that's why I wanted to make sure that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm April 20th.
Right. But in 2021,
Landed on, they say it landed on.
I don't know. I remember it was a thing. So, but yeah, so that's like
I
a
was
long
gonna say,
trip.
Where's
then-
Elon in all of this?
I don't know. But then people go up to like the space station and they're there for a long time. So that's like when you're away from your family. But I think
Where are these people?
they're like doing what?
Who are these people?
Who are the people that go to the space station?
Yeah. I feel like I never like hear of these people.
No, there's like you could probably Google right now, like who's at the space station. I think there's just like a rotating group of people from all countries that are up there.
Interesting.
So it's like I don't know, for like you send people up there. So what is that?
Oh yeah, that.
No,
I was gonna. I mean, you could
I
probably
think there's
tell
just-
by the.
But
the
like people
names.
go up there for like however long, and then they like do their research and they're up there, and then they go and get a thing, come back, and then they send a new group of people up there. But that's when you're away. Like it sounds like these trips, not that they're short,
Right,
but it's
right,
like they're
right.
like 2 weeks, like to get to the moon. Mars, you're
All I
like
know is
signing
you're
up
not
for
signing me
whatever.
up for that.
But
I
the
have
part
zero
that crazy
desire.
is like that thing for Mars. So it's 9 months to get there, and then it's
3 years to return.
That's like the West Coast to East Coast in a plane on steroids.
Where are the hyper?
It's like,
like
tailwinds. I'm guessing.
Well, no,
it's
I'm
like,
thinking of like
or the
Avengers or like where are those spaceships traveling
so it's
through the
I'm trying to figure it
dimensions.
out. So you're the thrust or whatever the cost of the initial launch or
Right.
you're getting more power through our ozone, or it's easier to fly that way and there's more resistance coming back, or you have less power coming back because you
Yeah.
used your fuel or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like this is all stuff that again, people so much smarter than us are figuring it
yeah.
out. But now that now that we talk through all of this, I'm like $100 billion for
Yeah.
4 launches, like actually doesn't sound crazy
Yeah.
based on like what billions of dollars in our economy get spent on.
Oh, here are the astronauts that are. Are there 4 or just 3? There's 4.
So 1 Canadian, 3 US.
Reed Wiseman,
Yeah, I mean
Navy pilot.
it's something that's really cool. It sounds like it's going to be a prevalent part of what money is invested in. And again, I mean there are people that are far smarter than us that are putting time and energy into this. I think just from like a person whose world does not revolve around it. I mean, we kind of live in our zone of what we do. It's interesting, but it's like, I don't know. It sounds like money needs to be deployed to something like that if they want to do the research. But I could see how some people are like, oh, it's a crazy amount of taxpayer dollars. But at the same time, it's like, what is the cheaper alternative? Like going to space, or I mean, I just I'm trying to think of currently like what's being built. Like what is the what's the cost of the Hard Rock Hotel in Vegas?
Oh, jeez.
No, it's not built. Like I want the cost of the actual like structure.
Yeah, well, you're also like describing something people can like see and actually go
Sure.
to, and like there's no questions on if it's real or not. Like you can physically. you'll be
Okay, so
able
the
to
one
physically
in
go there.
Hollywood, Florida was 1.5
5
billion.
billion.
and do the Vegas one, projected cost of Vegas. 4 to 5 billion. So to build one hotel
Mm-hmm.
is $4 to 5 billion. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I like to build a rocket ship, I would think would be more than a hotel. And then to launch it to space. So how many buildings get built per year? How many government buildings get
Right.
built? How many, like, in the grand scheme of the overall budget? I mean, NASA, what is the percentage of money that goes to
I
NASA
think
of
it's like
taxpayer dollar? Like
I
point,
actually did look this
it's
up,
like
and I think
point Z.
it's like not very much.
Yeah, it's like probably less than like a percent.
It's like 1 to 3%, I think, is what. Because I remember being like, no way. But I guess you're getting taxed like crazy.
NASA receives less than 0.5% from the US federal budget, hovering around 0.3 to 0.5 in recent years. Yeah. So then it says this amounts to less than half a penny for every taxpayer dollar. So yeah, in the grand
I mean,
scheme
come on,
of
Google.
in the grand
They're
scheme
in
of,
favor of NASA, the government spending.
I just think that the government budget is so big
Yeah.
that if you start to break it down, in my mind, I'm like, I mean, should less than one, like, is it viable to have a percent spent on like internet, like not internet, global, or what would it be? Space travel? Like, I guess, like that seems logical.
I mean, that seems logical.
Now, government spending is like probably 50 episodes that we could do conversations on, and where does money go, and is it good for the American people, and does it help people save or does it hurt people?
I
Like that
mean,
that's
we
a whole
all have
different
our
story.
biases, though.
Sure.
So, like,
But I'm just saying, like the
they
money
got
is
our own.
already there.
Mm-hmm.
So if one half of one if one half of 1 cent for every dollar goes to this,
Yeah.
sadly, it provides probably that much worth of entertainment for like the US population. So like,
Just all the conversations.
right. And then like money that can be generated from like endorsements or commercials or different things like that.
Mm.
Like it's probably one of the more justifiable things like per dollar that's out there.
Yeah. Do we want to do these questions?
Sure.
Maybe throw our own questions in there.
You want to ask one, then I'll ask one.
You can go with the first one.
So is space exploration a cost or an investment?
Oh, I I don't know. I'm the wrong person to ask. I um to for me, because I lean heavily on, like, if we're gonna go here with the questions, I don't know that it's real. So I would say it's a cost.
I think that
I think that the production is real. I don't know. I can't be certain that this is like a thing.
I think that in current times to launch something to space, like again, there's like a 14-day mission round trip to
Mhm.
the moon. I think that's realistic. I think we have the technology to do that.
Okay.
I think that going back, like it's more questionable that I could see people being like, how did we have the technology that many years ago? And why did
Mhm.
we not do it?
Yeah.
Now, maybe it's just that there was no value in going back for however many years, 70 years or whatever that time frame is.
I think in their minds they were like, we beat everybody to
Well,
do
right.
it. So like, why do we need
Yeah.
to like?
I think overall it's probably good. I think that there is just so much stuff that is out there. So
Yeah.
whether it's like just putting like something like the space station or putting rockets out into orbit
Yeah.
to just see what is happening outside of like the scope that we can view. I think it's probably valuable. I think that especially now in a time where just like within the world itself, you have countries that are like under attack and things like that.
Mhm.
Like for us to just have more surveillance around, like if something else
Surveillance. Come on.
no, seriously, like if there's stuff that's out there, like I think it's probably good to have that.
Just
And then
surveillance everything.
and then
Every
ultimately,
move you
yeah,
make.
and then ultimately to figure out like what else is out there. Like I find it very like plausible to think that there are materials that exist that we don't
I thought you
know
were gonna
about.
go to aliens. I thought we were going there. I was like, is he gonna say aliens? Are we going aliens? Is that where we're going to now?
I think that there's life other places. I don't know that an alien is like potentially different than us. Like I think it's very plausible to think that there is a place that looks very similar to this somewhere else.
With
That's
people who look just like us.
maybe or slightly different. I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
We live on a planet that has like look at all of the different like variations of animals and things like
mhm.
that. Like
Some we haven't even seen.
right. So
The bottom of the ocean.
so is there a place where an animal could like be developed more? So they look like an animal, but they have like
More of a
I,
Garden of Eden style.
I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, I just think that those are like things that could be true in a like infinite universe.
Mm-hmm.
So
With an infinite God. Yeah.
yeah. So I just think that there's like all kinds of stuff that's plausible. So to invest some small, relatively small amount of money to like
Trying to
research
figure
that,
it out.
yeah, like that's we should.
Okay, so he answered it. I answered it. All right, let's see. Um, ooh, um, okay. Do you think NASA is operating as efficiently as possible compared to private space companies like SpaceX?
I have no idea. Like I don't
Yeah, like
I don't know
I,
enough about the like
I don't
inner
either.
workings of it. I would say that in any company, it's not running as efficiently as
Right.
possible. Like I look at our personal
Yeah.
business and I'm like,
There's so many inefficiencies.
yeah,
Yeah.
like if every single week we took inventory of what was efficient and what was
Mm-hmm.
inefficient,
And we
and
just
some of it is
reworked.
like
Yeah.
caused by us.
Right.
So I probably not like
Yeah.
nothing's optimally
No.
efficient, but
And I don't know enough about SpaceX. See, I don't know enough about NASA or SpaceX to even like have an opinion on that.
I
I
would think
don't.
that the cost of doing business probably overall like goes down. So like information technology and stuff becomes more affordable, but the cost of everything goes up. So like the cost of a better person is more expensive in the future. The cost of like materials is more
Yeah.
expensive in the future, but the cost of doing business
But,
becomes more efficient.
right. 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 Because of technology.
Right.
Right.
So it's tough because like as things get cheaper, people become more expensive.
Yeah.
And as the people become more expensive, the cost of items becomes more expensive to
Mm-hmm.
kind of like keep that parity.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's interesting. I mean, we're gonna see this. I think this will kind of post right around the time that I don't know when this is
I
coming
don't know.
out.
When does this go out? Who knows?
Okay.
Wait. They were saying this is what 14 days was the art this
When did it launch? I didn't see the date.
April 1st, April Fool's Day. You remember that?
So it'll be back in a couple days. Yeah. So if he posts this Friday, it'll be a couple days after it
Yeah.
lands.
Well,
So we'll see what
that's
happens,
been
and I'm
interesting.
sure there'll be a lot of buzz around it. Um, Interesting topic. I mean, diving into the numbers and kind of like looking through it, and then kind of as we talked through it even more today, I'm like, the numbers seem crazy on paper, and then you talk through it, and you're like,
Right. Right. I guess that kind of makes sense.
yeah.
Evens out. Yep.
All right, everybody, send us some comments. Let us know what your
Yeah.
thoughts are. We obviously aren't like wildly educated on the topic. We just
Yeah. No.
we're entertained by it and wanted to highlight some of the financial pieces. But let us know.
Yeah.
Registered representative and financial advisor, Park Avenue Securities, LLC, PAS, OSJ 14021, Metropolis Ave, Fort Myers, Florida 33912 239 561 2900. Securities products and advisory services offered through PAS, member FINRA, SIPC. Financial representative of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, New York, NY. PAS is a wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. Alliance Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of PAS or Guardian. CA Insurance License Number 0M21715. AR Insurance License Number 158383330. 88717774.1 expires 428.